Hello and welcome to Alchemist Whim. I am Alchemist Jen. Welcome to today. Happy day for you and for me. Happy day for everyone. Today's whim of the day is to work on some bandanas. So the next stage we're going to be looking at is sewing. So we're going to take some delicious fabric and then fold over the edges and give it a nice hem. And I like to use little clippy things, clippy cloppies, and just squeeze them together so it's easier to sew. I know that there are magical things that help you fold over hems and help you send it through things, things being sewing machines that will secure your hems. I kind of like processes, so I'm not really into looking for shortcuts at this moment, but eventually maybe I will. You can use the awesome shortcuts that are available out there, but I kind of like the whole foldy thing. I don't know if I just like a little bit of torture compared to other things, you know, but that's what's up. So today, working on sewing and hemmage is awesome. So things that I like to have with me when I'm sewing that must be right near me are my scissors, darling, and these are going to be ginghas. Great accent, right? I just made it up. I always do that, so I have a lot of fun with how I sound. So you might have noticed that already. I'm just gonna keep being me. So ginghas, and I end up using the same seam ripper that came with this, but it's even broken, and so I still am using it. I have dreams and hopes of a magical seam ripper that is just glorious, and it's one of those pieces of creative toolage that will be a work of art. So I'm probably gonna figure out how to take a nice new one and that's not broken and create a fun handle for it. So that's on my to-do list, but if there's one out there, if you've seen it, let me know, and maybe that's something I need to do, is do some seam rippers that are custom. Like, you can get crochet hooks that are done with resin, you can get them done with clay, you know. Why not be able to have seam rippers that are like this? And it's probably a thing that exists, and there's probably amazing things, I just haven't actually looked into it, but that's something that my mind says that I need to have in my life. Not the broken one, something that is fresh. So I find I use it to, you know, as I'm finishing off a stitch, so I might get to the end of, you know, kind of where I've started and back again, and it helps me pull through the thread so I can make a knot. I know that there are pretty ways to finish off your sewing where you're taking a needle and sticking it back through and making it perfect. I'm not too worried about that. I kind of like a story to it, and I kind of like the end of it, and you know, whether most people probably won't even notice, or if they do, I don't know that they really pay that much attention or care, but I'm cool with leaving evidence that I was there and what I did. Maybe it's just me, maybe I'm weird. So I've done that in this beautiful tapestry behind me, for instance. And so I've used my zigzag stitch that I love on my beautiful zigzag sewing machine, and even done some things, but I made mistakes at the corner. You can probably see that. It's pretty obvious. And I'm okay with that. I like the story of leaving behind the stitch, and it still holds it in place, and it's stitched off the corner thing. So I'm okay with it. I think it's cool. I think it's good. There's nothing wrong with leaving a trail. Telling more of the story, things that go along with it. And then I also have this cool tapestry. You might be able to see it. Is like this one. I've had people tell me several times that there's eyes in it. So like that one, and then there's other places that look kind of like facial features. So I just think it's kind of cool, but I didn't see it until people started pointing it out. Some people notice those type of things no matter what, and anything. But this one's kind of a fun tapestry, just the way that the dies came through it. It's a little bit more moody and dark than some other ones, which I think adds some extra flair. So as I'm getting ready to sew, I like words that are similar but are actually completely different. They're spelled different, but it's funny, you can make puns out of them. I like being punny. So things I want to do here, turn on my sewing machine. So it's got a fancy clicky awesomeness. I need to thread my yarn, but then also work on my thread my yarn. I'm thinking about yarn in my next yarn stuff, but while I'm sewing, and then I said thread my yarn. Also having a difficult time breathing today, so my brain just kind of jumbles things. So it's always fun in my brain. So got our beautiful sewing machine, and I'm going to get her threaded. Everyone shouts that at their sewing machine, right? Get her threaded. I don't know what I'm doing sometimes, but sometimes I just repeat myself or chant things so then I can keep focused on what I'm doing. Because my brain likes it. Alright, so threaded, super easy, really easy to thread. And I use thicker quilting thread anyway, so it's not the flimsier thread, so I find it handles it pretty well. So I'm going to pull up that bobbin thread. I can use the right word. I still wanted to use yarn for some reason because I'm still thinking about yarn. But who doesn't think about yarn all the time? Seriously. Alright, you see I use that to grab it. Sometimes I'll use like the end of my scissors and pull it through. Yeah, I know. And it's going to make a little noise. That was not a little noise. And then we're ready to sew. So we're looking good there. Turn that. I've got it in the part where it wanted to go backwards on my stitch director. And then I'm really not sure if I have the disc in the right place. And the other day when I took it all apart and then put it back together again, I'm hoping that the disc is facing the right direction, but I really need to do some test stitches before I start sewing these. So I'm not going to sew right now, so I'm going to turn the baby off. But I can go ahead and do some beautiful, magical clipping of the edges while I talk a bit. So I'm really excited to be able to get this close to doing the bandanas. So the next stage is after I do clips, and then I'll sew, and then it's ready to print time. So this fabric has been dyed and washed. It's ready for that ink to be on there. So I use the printmaking fabric ink by Speedball. So that's gonna go really nicely on here. It just needs to cure, and then it's ready to go, so you can wash it as much as you want to. It's just a brilliant ink, and I'm a huge fan. So I'm excited to do that, and then I'm excited to play with the glitter. So adding glitter to ink is going to be super, super fun, especially since it's a fine glitter. So I think it's going to end up being a bit iridescent, hopefully. So we'll see what happens, and I'm excited to play. Play is very important to me in my creative process, so I just want to have fun. Don't you want to have fun? I think fun is underrated, and we don't have enough fun as adults, and we need more fun in our lives. So I'm encouraging you to not bump your elbow on a table and to have fun instead. That's my mantra for today, is to have fun instead. Whatever it is, just have fun instead. So that's the thing of the day. Have fun instead. So much fun. Alright, I think I'm just going to do one edge of this and then then probably get to sewing and then show you tomorrow that I did in fact sew these edges so that the bandanas will be ready to go. But Shazam, I just like thick edges, and then it'll leave me plenty of room for that beautiful stitching. You can see on here I kind of kept them thick as well. So I like that when you stick it through the machine, it ends up kind of pressing it at the same time, so it ends up with a really crisp and clean edge. So yay for sewing time. I hope you guys are having a good day, and that if you're not, maybe you can turn it around for the rest of the day. Just a little thing that's good for you and positive. I believe in you. You can do it. That's what I got, and you're pretty amazing. So that's the whim of the day today. We're going to see what the whim of the day is tomorrow. I'm pretty sure it's probably going to have something to do with printmaking. It should have something to do with printmaking, so I can make some continued progress on this. So have a good one. We'll see you next time. Toodaloo.